Welcome to this meet and greet with Adi. Adi is such a fantastic person and I really want you to get along and become friends. On the more technical side, Adi is one of the most commonly used models for instructional design, and in this video we're going to introduce you to Adi and why you should pay more attention to this fantastic person. ADDIE is in fact an acronym which stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation and Evaluation. These are 5 very important characteristics of instructional design, or our friend ADDIE. And ADDIE is in fact going to accompany us throughout this course, and I really hope that you become friends at the end of it. And ADDIE is such a great way to keep track of how to create great learning experiences that are structured. After having watched this video, I hope that you will be able to recall the 5 different aspects or steps of ADDIE and understand the value of a structured process when creating learning experiences. To begin with, ADDIE is a very analytical person. And ADDIE is very keen on sitting down with you and looking at the preconditions for your training in more detail. Some of the things that ADDIE is indeed going to want to talk to you about in terms of analysis is what the problem is that you're trying to solve with your training, who the learners are and how their characteristics should influence the subsequent steps, and what content and learning outcomes you're planning for in order to bridge the gap between the problem and your desired end state. Now, in addition to these different aspects, ADDIE might also want to talk with you about the framework in which you're delivering your training. Namely, what kind of guiding documents, results frameworks, strategies, etc. that are in place at your organization that might influence your training and the aforementioned analytical points of interest. After having a good chat with ADDIE about analysis, you'll find that the rest of the process will become so much easier. A lot of choices down the line can be based on your analytical work, and as such provide you with a better sense of whether you're going in the right direction or not. Now that we had a good first chat with ADDIE about analysis, I propose that we join ADDIE for a cup of hot coffee while getting to know the interest that ADDIE has in design a bit more. Now, in the design phase or stage, we're looking at macro levels of design. We want to map out what the learning experience will look like and how it will flow and what the different touching points will be. It's really important to consider how each of the resources we create can be made as engaging and impactful as possible. The output of this phase is usually a series of different storyboards that paint a general picture of the course as a whole. Now, at least for me, in general, I like some cupcakes to go with my coffee, and ADDIE is in fact a great baker. Something that's very similar to the development phase, which we're going to head into now. And this is where we construct or bake our resources, such as video and audio, working with the content authoring tools, multimedia e-learning, graphic design, infographics, etc. Working in this creative step is really a lot of fun, and we might get carried away by the possibilities. Oh, the endless possibilities. But it's important to stay connected with the result of the analysis and the choices we made in the design phase, so that we do not get blindsided by the new innovative solutions that may take a lot of time for us to work with, but is perhaps not the best way of delivery for our learners. We need to choose the right format in line with the results from analysis and design stages, so that you actually reach your learners in the best way possible. A good way to check if this is the case is to allow for some user testing. At this point, ADDIE is very eager to get going and wants to implement the learning experience. Some important considerations in this phase relates to the planning for the rollout of the training and how to promote the actual course. In addition, once the training is in full swing, we need to be mindful of how we continuously drive engagement and how we support our learners throughout the course. As such, it becomes vital to have a look at how we monitor the experience and engagement of our learners so that we can adjust as necessary. Now, during this stage, Addy routinely juggles a lot of different processes at the same time, curating new content, answering questions on hand-ins, providing feedback on those assignments, running a virtual classroom, while also keeping an eye out for learner engagement and the learning experience as a whole. It can be a difficult and daunting task depending on your experience, and something that you might enjoy doing as a team instead of alone. At this point in time, some of us are really tired. We've just delivered a training based on a lot of preparatory work, and after having finished the learning event itself, we usually feel like we're finished both mentally and physically. Wrong. This is where we're so lucky to have a friend such as Addy, who can help us continue to work with purpose and dedication. The last and final step is evaluation. Now, evaluation does not only happen at the end of it all. It should be conducted continuously throughout the process. In the analysis phase, you need to make sure that the learning outcomes meet the needs of your learners and respond adequately to the business problem. In the design phase, you need to ensure that the storyboard actually delivers on the learning outcomes that you created. And in the development phase, you need to ensure that the resources match the storyboard. In the implementation, you then need to make sure that you measure engagement and experience. And finally, you have to measure if and to what extent learning transfer actually took place. And if you're going to run the same course again, this is a fantastic stepping stone for starting to plan for the next event. Base your updates in your next analysis on the results from the previous course and the evaluation, and restart or rekindle your friendship with Addy once again. This time though, the effort will be a lot lower since you already know Addy quite well. We've only just started to get to know Addy. Do not feel like you should understand all the intricacies and nuances of Addy's personality just yet. This video serves as a starting point for you to get to know Addy more, but of course we cannot get to know a person fully just through a few minutes of chatting over coffee and a cupcake. The key takeaways from our meeting with Addy is to ensure that you work in a structured way when approaching how to build effective learning solutions that are learner-centered. We started to get to know the 5 different steps of Addy's personality. Now we've talked about Addy's analytical side, the design and creativity that Addy possesses, the cupcake baking or development possibilities that Addy emphasizes, the implementation of delivery of the actual learning event, and finally, how to stay motivated and continue to work with evaluation both throughout the process and after the learning event itself, in order to measure effects and learning transfer. Before I let you go, I've consciously chosen not to show a picture of Addy or give Addy a gender. Please post a comment down below on how you perceive Addy to look like. Find a picture online or write a short description of how or what represents Addy to you. Now that we've done a bit of learning, let's take a leap and produce something.